When did you find out that we were planning to send astronauts to the moon in 2024?
Hold on. Oh, it was 2019 was when former Vice President Mike Pence announced it in his initiatives in one of the, I think it was a Space Council meeting.
I have heard that news as well. And to be honest, with you researching about space.
Until I heard from you and Cindy, I did not, I'll confess.
The week they announced it, because I do follow a half a dozen different space blogs, and I do try to watch NASA TV on a regular basis. So,
right, there's no practical reason to go to the moon. It's a dead piece of rock. Who knows? There might be something there, might not be something there, but it's basically a dead piece of rock, which is very difficult to get to. And once you're there, there's really not that much that you can do. It's the most hostile environment you can imagine.
It was interesting you said about the fiber optic cable made in space. That's what we need. And I think that could be a good thing for space enthusiasts to advocate about.
I think that was the interview where Dad said, we're going to need somewhere else to go. Like, this planet is not going to last forever. And I was like, what? It's not? I mean, I was kind of planning on that. But so I don't know what kind of time frame he was talking about, but he seemed to feel that we are exploring space with the intention of finding somewhere for people to habitate.
I have imagined that some people are floating without gravity. Yeah, gravity floating when eating something or washing or brushing your teeth or something like that. Amazing how to explore, how to experience that kind of, yeah.
Well, I definitely agree that we are not treating the Earth well, and that I don't feel like especially hopeful about the future of our Earth when it comes to climate change. It feels sort of just like sad to just sort of say like, well, we give up. We're not going to be able to fix the Earth. And so we're going to look to other planets. And maybe that's just me being naive. But it just makes me feel a little bit sad to sort of think that we've just kind of like decided that the Earth isn't sustainable and that we have to look elsewhere. But
personally, I'm a little bit afraid to do that right now. Just because even when I was watching the SpaceX launch just a couple months ago during quarantine, I was kind of scared. So I cannot imagine myself sitting there and being somebody who's, doing something that very few people in this world have done. I cannot imagine that. So,
and it's most of the people. It's very few people are really anti-space. And usually, if I say, well, okay, so what should we be doing instead? And they say, well, climate or education or whatever. And I say,
Star Trek was the first one to be really that positive and optimistic about the future of humanity, right? And this united federation and things like that. And I've always sort of it stuck with me. I grew up at the right time. I watched those things at the right time. For that to sort of be, etched into my brain as if we do this thing called space exploration, that's where it will logically end.
You have internet, which has blossomed in the last decade. Yesterday, you had SpaceX announcing their new Starlink network to have 10 gigabyte download speeds very soon instead of the 1 gigabyte one. And that's just unbelievable. It's disrupting entire industries, and it's getting us more connected.
There's only one ride at Disney World that I will not ever do again, and that is Mission to Mars.
Oh, wow.
I cannot do that at all. I can't stand it. It's, your body's doing one thing, and then what you're seeing visually is something different. Oh, no. That makes me ill. I would be terrible. I'm too old and fussy, right? I mean, I need my iced tea and no.
They got a lot of surprise about airplane, how people can fly. Yeah, how can people go into how people can go into the moon or some other space or other planets. That's amazing. So, but we can think about that. Like how scientists can explore outside.
500 years ago, no one could have conceived of the way we live now. It would have just like blown their minds to think of the technology we have and the knowledge we have of our universe. So we don't know what we don't know, right? And there's no way for us to broaden our perspective unless we explore. So I definitely understand that side of it and why that is appealing to people from a non-planetary concern specific perspective of just like what is out there. Like you said, all we know right now suggests this is the best place, but
I understand, I think we canceled it because of safety and things like that, but with all this progress that we've made, I think 2024, at least, I'm just more hopeful for it, just that I can actually experience it while I'm here, so yeah.
Well, I'd say that, not everybody got on a boat and left Europe and came to the Americas, some people did, and it was good for them, but it was also good for the people who stayed because they could tell their boss, hey, you better pay me more, make my living conditions better, or I'm going to get on a boat and I'm out of here.
It's wonderful. It was such a pleasure to meet y'all and to talk to y'all.
So nice to
Of
meet
course.
you, Nathan.
Thank you so much. Thanks for letting us do it, Nathan.
Hope we see you again.
You will. Okay.
Okay.
Take care.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye-bye.